financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is your options to eliminate debt. Brian Small, debt guru, debt elimination guru.
A pleasure to be here, Ken.
Wild Professor Jeffrey Linden, tax guru.
Good morning, Ken. It's great to be here.
Physicist.
You do have that physicist look.
Here, let me help you out.
It looks good. Very, very.
Again, put it down your nose a little bit further.
And Pat Samasco, looking
Not
bright
physicist.
and cheery this morning.
That's the down your nose is the Carl Levin look. Way down your
It's
nose.
more the CPA like auditor look, which I'm not going for.
No, you don't want to go for that. I agree. And I don't want to say that we eat those guys up and spit them out either, because that's not true. We work with them to accomplish the goals of our client, is what we do. Types of debt, Brian. These are options to eliminate debt, so I thought I'd make a list of the types of debt.
Okay.
Credit card debt.
Those are
Let me know if I'm missing anything. Medical and other bills.
okay.
Lawsuits, judgments, taxes, mortgage debt, and mortgage debt on an underwater home, car loans, and car loans on an underwater car.
Okay.
An underwater car. And then you have boat loans on an underwater boat.
Is that a submarine?
You know,
You know,
I think every boat
wait,
loan is on an underwater
wait,
boat.
I'll tell you what all those are. You got them. They're all debt. You know what's consistent about all of them? They're all bad.
you know what though? You're absolutely right, and it's so topical because now it's every family up in the mid-Michigan with those dams breaking. All their houses are underwater, literally. Their boats sunk. Their cars got washed away, and they don't have any
No
homeowner's insurance to cover it.
Right.
Those are horrific disasters. I tell you, I represented a guy out of Houston when they had their massive floods, and we were able to work out an unbelievable deal. He had like a $500,000 loan on his dental practice in suburban Houston that got demolished, no insurance. We were able. Chase settled for $20,000.
Oh God.
On $500,000.
Holy mackerel.
And they didn't issue a 1099 for cancellation of debt because I said, no, we're disputing that we owe the debt. You should have told us to get flood insurance. So we put together a settlement agreement with an agreement for no 1099 from a tax standpoint. So the point is, if you're out there and you have that type of a situation, there sometimes are available means of resolving it. But floods, Midland that's a disaster.
So we were asked to look at all of their insurance contracts about the flood insurance, and you think, gee whiz, why don't they have it? But every one of those people are just SOL.
Are there lawsuits against the agents for not recommending it?
You know what? That hasn't.
But you got a statute of limitations there,
Well,
too.
yeah, that I don't know on that because everyone's focusing on the dam and the dam breaking, and there's all sorts of law firms up there, great law firms that are pursuing those claims. But how much insurance do they have?
So now, but take a look at, you had a property that was worth $500,000 and you owed $250,000 on it because you've been living there paying down your mortgage, and this is your retirement nest egg part of it.
Right.
And suddenly your beachfront property is worth $100,000
Or zero.
and you still owe $250,000 on it. You can't live there anymore, and your whole retirement plan is gone.
Right.
This is where dealing with debt, whether it's secured debt or unsecured debt, this explains why all debt turns out to be bad debt.
So we'll explain to me secured versus unsecured, but I want to say something first about Midland. We look at COVID and it's very rational for everyone to say it's none of our faults, and we should try and make it as easy as possible on everyone to get through this because no one is at fault for bringing on COVID, so they shouldn't suffer conceptually. In Midland, it was government failure that caused those dams to be improperly maintained and to give way. And it's an undue burden and hardship on the person that is suffering that loss because of government failure. There should be accommodations made for them in a massive manner.
I want to give you an interesting thought on that. Okay, so you think that basically somehow the government should come in and support the people that were damaged here, right?
Conceptually, yes.
Okay. When you're driving down the road and you drive through a pothole and your tire goes flat and you need to replace your wheel and it's not covered by insurance.
It's a question of degree.
No, it's the same exact thing.
No, but it's a question of degree.
So it's okay
if
for
I
you to
blow a $1,500 axle versus government's failure causing me to lose a $300,000 home, which is going to drastically ruin my life.
I agree with you. It's a degree, but it's still the same concept.
Well, on my 12th tire that I lost, that degree was really bad.
That's right.
The degree of my tears.
Knock on wood, you seem to have gone through a good run of not having...
Because I got an old pickup truck with big old tires.
Used to be, every show used to start off with a flat tire.
I'm just
One
saying
more
that's the rationale that they're going to say. There's going to be no
I follow your
coverage
point.
through the government.
What's the difference between secured and unsecured debt before we come up to the break?
Secured debt has collateral associated with it. When you take out an auto loan, if you don't pay for the car, they can repossess the car and take it back. Your mortgage, if you take out a mortgage, you've collateralized your house. If you don't pay for the house, they can foreclose the home. If you buy something on your credit card at Meijer or whatever else, they're not going to come take the groceries back because that's an unsecured debt. There's no collateral associated with it.
Well, let me add one more secured debt. The business goes to the bank and gets a credit line for $500,000. You pledge as collateral all the assets of your business,
Right.
all of your receivables, your furniture, fixtures, your equipment, your bank accounts, and everything else. That's another type of secured loan.
Absolutely. But we can do a lot of things with different types of debt, secured and unsecured.
All right, we're going to come back from the break and we're going to talk about how to get rid of the debt. COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We were here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We'll create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
Will I outlive my money?
Medicaid is so confusing.
A will, or do I need a trust?
What if mom needs to go in a nursing home?
At Samasco Law, we have the answers to all of these questions. Our attorneys will eliminate the confusion and develop a plan that's right for you. We are dedicated to veterans benefits, assisted living, and nursing home care. Samasco Law can help prepare you for a long future. Call Samasco Law today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so we're back. How do you get rid of the debt?
Wait, hang on. Let me throw something out before that, though. So you're talking about the bailout and whether or not the government should bail it out, and you're talking about secured and unsecured debt. How much is the unsecured debt that the U.S. owes right now? About $30 trillion.
It's going up so fast that nobody's counting.
You can't even count.
But you know what? The funny thing is they're the only entity out there that has a printing press that can make money.
And that's what's going to destroy the financial markets next.
You're bringing it up. You're the first person that I've heard bring it up in the last 90 days.
So
I watch the news a lot.
Yeah.
I read the Wall Street Journal. Nobody's talking about the deficit that's going on with all this.
Well, the sad thing is
pumping up in the economy.
I did a big talk, and we started talking about back when Detroit went bankrupt, compared to the U.S. economy back in 2013. The debt back in 2013 was only $13 trillion. So now, 8 years later, however long, it's up to almost $30 trillion.
What do you think the outcome is going to be of that?
I think it's going to be like Venezuela. If you look at Venezuela, but it's going to be when the U.S. dollar is no longer the primary currency for the United States.
I think the Trump plan, but it may not play out, is to blame China for COVID and to therefore discharge our debt to China as
world bankruptcy?
As compensation for our loss.
Well, here's the question.
Well, they're talking about states.
It's what we call a set-off.
They're talking about states being able to file bankruptcy. That was
they're going to.
It isn't really going to happen yet, but.
Well, if they don't, because the states are being burdened by the costs of COVID, and if the federal government doesn't provide the relief, and that's the blue state versus the red state.
So if that happens, how much money can you afford to lose?
Nothing.
Then you better plan for it now.
This was my comment or my thought all along during the election was you're electing a guy whose business model is to run up massive amounts of debt and not pay it and get protection in bankruptcy, and you can't do that with a country.
You can't do that with the household.
But I think I think your point is well taken. The model is going in that direction.
Right.
So how do we get rid of the debt, Brian? Well, first of all, what's the goal in getting rid of debt?
Well, the goal is always to eliminate the debt in the least cost, fastest way possible. Period. That should be everybody's goal, because debt is, as we've said it before, financial cancer. And if you're carrying debt, you're keeping yourself from putting money away in your retirement. You're keeping yourself from being able to enjoy life, because all you're doing is working to pay bills, and it is depressing. And we see a lot of people. I just read an article about a young man who was, during the COVID crisis, got himself into day trading, and suddenly he had lost $730,000, and he killed himself. He didn't really lose $730,000. He could have fixed it in a different way, but it set it on his portfolio, and he killed himself. There's so much stress involved in debt, that the key is to get rid of the stress as quickly as possible, draw a line in the sand, and get a fresh start.
I agree with that.
Let me even add to that, because it's not just about getting rid of the stress is 100% important, but the other concept too, the faster you get rid of the debt, it's about preserving your future income. If you're making money and you're using your money to service debt that you can never get out from under, you're always underwater. If you get rid of the debt and you're making money, then you can start growing. And the longer you wait and take to get rid of the debt, the delay on growing a portfolio and having money to retire with. So it's about, I always see the client that comes in that wants to get rid of their credit card debt and sees the light and doing it, and then they want to wait 6 months to make the decision, and meanwhile they're going to send the credit card companies $2,000 a month for those 6 months. I say to them, if that's what you got to do, do it, but what you're doing is you're throwing away $12,000, whereas if we did it now, that $12,000 would start going into your bank account to save money.
And it's funny, I use a little different way of explaining it to people. I say, you're going to continue to pay these credit cards because you can't make a decision, you're not ready, whatever. And they say, I want you to stop by the bank on the way home and pick up 100 $1 bills. And then I want you to go home and stand over your toilet. And I want you to flush them one at a time. And every single person looks at me like I'm an idiot and goes, why would I ever do that? And I say, but you're already doing it by paying the credit card companies.
You know, flushing each one separately is a waste of water.
It is a waste of water. But not one person would ever flush $1, yet they will continue in financial crisis.
I love the passion
and pay the money.
I love the passion.
The other hidden analogy is that there's a big plumber's bill coming too.
And then again, if you want to conserve your flushes and throw 10 of them down in one toilet that I have in my house, that's not going to go well either.
No.
But the key here is that when you're looking at debt, every person is different. And I said it before, I'll say it again. The problem is individual to the individual. The solution is individual to the individual. When you come to us as financial crisis management attorneys, we're going to look at the different opportunities you have. And that's the key word, opportunity, to get yourself out of debt.
What are the ways of getting out of the debt?
So we can look at Chapter 7 bankruptcy. I'm just going to name them and we'll talk about them. Chapter 13 bankruptcy, debt resolution, budget management, okay? All of these things, some of them are products that and services that will get you out of debt instantly. Some of them take time. Some of them work with you and help keep your credit score good, because there are people that are unwilling to hurt their credit score. But at the end of the day, we have methods and methodologies to get you out of debt that you're comfortable with. That's the key.
When we come back from the break, I want to take an example of how you're going to accomplish that.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Time for announcements. I want to remind our viewers to sign up for the monthly contest. Every month we give a $100 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and a copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Just go to the website, lawandreality.com, pop your name in to enter and your email address, and you're entered into the contest. We have a webinar coming up Wednesday, July 22nd, 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m., Debt Relief, Your Path Forward. We're going to go through all the ways that we address resolving debt so that you preserve your future income for you and your family rather than allowing that money to keep paying your creditors. We'll do a segment for the small business facing debt and closure issues. Jeff Linden will do a special segment on tax problems. You want to learn all your available options. That's the key to resolving debt issues. Solutions using bankruptcy, solutions outside of bankruptcy. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Also remember, you can always come into the office for a free consultation. Now with social distancing in place, we have office conferences available, also doing teleconferencing and web conferencing. Whatever is your comfort zone, we're available to do it that way for you. Just call the office at 888-235-HELP or go online and sign up for a free consult. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business issues, elder law and financial planning issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner, criminal issues with Scott Weinberg. Take advantage of the free consultation. Sign up at lawandreality.com or call 888-235-HELP. Also, go online and take advantage of the free reports. A brand new report, Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by myself and Jeff Linden, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formation, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit, and the Retiree's Guide for Social Security from Pat Simasko. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We were here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We will create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem. All right, so rather than walking us through the Chapter 713, let me give you a case study, and then you analyze it and illuminate us as to which would be the best way to get out of the debt.
Sounds good.
John and Patty, 2 children living at home with mom and dad. They got credit card debt of $50,000. Minimum payments on those cards are $1,250 a month. Household income $90,000. They own a house, fair market value $250,000, mortgage is $220,000, so they got $30,000 of equity in their home. Could they be a Chapter 7, 13, or a debt resolution? Their monthly income is $6,000. That's net income after taxes. House payment $1,750, credit cards $1,250, 2 car payments, car insurance, life insurance, and their expenses up on the screen. Their total expenses are $6,800 a month right now. They're $800 a month in the hole. That's why the credit cards have gone up. Those are the facts, Brian. What do we do?
So we're going to analyze them whether or not we can do Chapter 7, Chapter 13, debt resolution, or budget management, because all of them are opportunities for them. This is a typical family of 4. And believe it or not, it's crazy, but the typical family of 4 walks in to see me with $50,000 worth of credit card debt.
Crazy.
It is an enormous amount. And
I don't think it's that big of a surprise if you think about it. If you're making $90,000 a year and you're trying to provide for your children,
You can't make it on that.
You just can't make it nowadays.
And
the
so-
credit cards are available. They're there handing them to you.
So when you look at their opportunities, depending on shifting certain factors, like when you look at the $1,250 a month in credit card bills, are they really just paying the minimum monthly payments? Did they stop using the cards 2
That's
years ago?
$1,250. Those are the minimum payments.
If
They're
they
paying
stopped using them,
They
then
haven't stopped using them.
Well, if they had stopped using them, they might be a Chapter 13 or a debt resolution client, because then we can utilize the money to either pay back over time or settle the debts. Debt resolution being settling the debts, Chapter 13 being paying back what you can afford over a period of time. Flip it. If they're usually paying $1,250 a month and they're charging $1,250 a month, your budget that you've posted on the screen really doesn't conclude and show all of their expenses, because you're showing a credit card expense and a credit card payment, but you're missing something. If you took away the credit cards, they'd still have to spend.
Well, most of that payment's interest on the credit card.
It is and it isn't. They're still charging up. Are they still charging up $1,250 a month?
Yes.
So they're in the credit card trap. Use, pay, use, pay. So in that case, this couple with their 2 children is probably a Chapter 7 client.
Well, let me ask you this question: if you had the choice between all 3, which is the best if they can, if they qualify?
If I had the choice between all 4, because you're forgetting budget management,
Yes, I'm
which
sorry.
sometimes we look at a client's budget and we say there's an incredible amount of wasted money, and people don't reflect upon their own wasted money. How people do that is they look at their bank statement, they go, gosh, I spent a lot. That's it. They don't examine their individual.
I'm not going to let this show end without you answering my question, though. So, of the 4 potentials, which would be the best if they can qualify?
A Chapter 7, because it's the least costly, most effective, most efficient way to get out of debt.
And if they can't qualify for that, because is it possible that they won't qualify here?
It is possible. You've created a scenario which requires the client to come in and do the actual analysis, because when you're looking at all the factors here, they could be a Chapter 7. They might be a Chapter 13. They could possibly do debt resolution, and budget management also might be the right solution.
Are you saying that this is a phenomenally brilliant hypothetical that's been presented to you?
I was just going to say
that.
It is.
But you know what?
Is that a fair interpretation?
But here's the thing. It's not just a brilliant one. It happens to be an actual one. This is what happens when people come in. You have to look at the individual situation. The problem is individual to the individual.
That means the solution
is individual to the individual. I invite anybody that's having financial crisis at the moment, give me a call.
I feel overwhelmed as an individual as we approach this.
Because
but the
solution,
point is,
to help Jeff, is unique to the individual.
You see, there's one thing we can all agree on. It is individual to the individual. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.